There's a lot of nonsense and drama going on in the Summer Wells case on YouTube the last few days. I don't want any part of it. So I'm just going to go through my top 5 in the next few videos that I do on the Summer Wells case. I have been thinking about this for a few days and I was struggling with the position of one person on my list. I've been thinking a lot about how to explain myself and why I have that person in that position. And having given it a lot of thought, I think I finally settled on why I have that person in that position, and I think people will understand. TBI have told us last week that there are few clues and all possibilities are still being explored. And this list could really be a top 10. And I might do a notable mentions at the end in the last video. Because unfortunately for Summer, there's a lot of dangerous people around her and other dangerous things going on also. My opinions on this change all the time. Depending on when you're watching this video, it may have already changed. It just depends on new information or the new stuff that comes out that I learn. I will put a weighting for my top 5 in the last video also, just to show the gaps, because it's not a case of I'm 90% one person, 10% the rest. It's a bit more tight than that. I don't know what happened. I'm as puzzled as the next guy. This is all just my opinion on this day that I'm making this video. My number 5 is Jodisue. I cannot do a video on my persons of interest and suspects on the Summer Wells case and not have Jodisue in there, just given her behaviour alone. Some I know will have Jodisue way higher on their list, and some won't have them on their list at all. They think that Jodisue has nothing got to do with it. And perhaps a month or two ago, I would have had Jodisue as a notable mention and not in the top 5. But she's there now and she's there to stay. I believe I have her here for a good reason, because she's dodgy and shady as F. And I just want to run through motive, pros and cons for Jodisue. The motive, was it to create disorder on Ben Hill Road? She was having major issues that week with Jackie Dobbs. Jodisue will have major issues with anybody coming into Ben Hill Road because she feels like she owns it. Jodisue, the mayor of Beach Creek, she wanted the land that Jackie had bought. She wasn't happy with him. She wasn't happy with him coming in. So did she try to take Summer just for a short time, maybe short time gone wrong, in order to create disorder on Ben Hill Road? Allegedly, she texts someone saying, if this doesn't make them leave, I don't know what will. I do not think this is the case, and I gave you the reason for that in the cons list. Could it be revenge? Is that the motive? Have the Wells done something that would trigger a reaction? We know that Jodisue has a criminal record for drugs. Did someone in the Wells family snitch on Jodisue and Andy? Did Jodisue and Andy then snitch on someone else? Because the charges that Jodisue and Andy got seem very, very light compared to other people in Tennessee, other gangs who had similar charges at the same time. And when you're comparing and contrasting the charges against both, it does feel like there might be some sort of snitching going on. Did both snitch? Did Don snitch on Jodisue and Andy? Did Jodisue and Andy then snitch on someone else? So who's carrying out the revenge? Is it Jodisue? Is it the bigger higher ups? It is a bit of a reach to jump from transporting and trafficking drugs to transporting and trafficking children, but it is the same skill set also. Did Jodisue just snap? Did she snap? Did she see Summer at the end of the road and something triggered her to snap? Was she annoyed at the Wells? Was she annoyed? We know she doesn't like kids, she doesn't like noises, she doesn't like outsiders. Was there an issue with pill swapping going on? Not happy that she didn't get some stuff back from Grandma Candice? A lot of stuff happening that week with Jackie Dobbs. Did it all build up to one moment in time where Jodisue just snapped and took it out in Summer? Was the motive money? I talked about the drug circles, same skill set needed to transport and traffic kids. It is a bit of a reach, but we know from Don that he said he's been to places where kids are sold. Was Jodisue at places where kids were sold? Does she know people who are involved in the trafficking of kids? Was Jodisue looking for some quick cash? Quick cash maybe to buy some land around the place. And the quickest way she could get cash was taking a kid and selling them to this trafficking ring. Is there some sort of finder fee here? If I can let a certain gang know where you can get a kid, I'll get a certain kickback. It's dodgy circles. They're all running in dodgy circles, so you can't rule it out. Tennessee has a huge trafficking problem, we know that. And I'm really interested to know what people think. What is the motive for Jodisue here? If she is involved directly in Summer's disappearance, what is the motive? The things that make Jodisue look dodgy: she hates kids, she hates noise. Summer was a noisy kid. She seems to be disliked by basically everybody. I can't find a single person who has met Jodisue before Summer went missing and has nice things to say about her. Her own family, her sister, her mother has come out to say she's nasty. Andy has said that she tied her mother to the bed and made a threat to burn the house down while she was tied up to the bed. Jodisue is a nosy neighbour. We all have them. She's probably on another level to anything we know. The mayor of Beach Creek loved to stick her nose into everybody's business. She's a bit of a creep herself, running in shady circles, sticking her nose in people's business. We know law enforcement, FBI, TBI do not believe a word out of her mouth. There must be a history there. There must be. They must have very good reason. From the jump, from the very start of this case, they did not believe a word out of her mouth. Not a word. And do you think they believed Jodisue when she said she searched her land? When she came out and said, oh yeah, I checked everywhere, I searched my land. Did they believe her? I doubt it. I doubt it very much. She talks about washing her feet in the creek so she doesn't throw the dogs off. Who does that? Like, how would you know to do that? Would you know to do that? I wouldn't know about that. That wouldn't come into my brain when a girl is missing and before any police arrive, before any search dogs arrive. Oh, I must quickly wash my feet so I don't interfere in case search dogs get brought out. Have you experienced, Jodisue, with this? Have you been around missing kids in the past? Because to me, that's the only reason you would know that. Is this coming from experience? She also said the dogs stopped dead at her feet. The scent dogs stopped at her feet. What? Why? Just stupid dogs, is it? She interfered with the search. She brought her dogs down, being the nosy neighbour, looking for information, trying to control the narrative. Why was she doing this? Was it a case that she was just buying some time for Andy to take some plants up? Possibly. Or is there something else going on? From the get-go in this case, she is shady. She has tried to control the narrative from the very start with lies. Lies that she has said to law enforcement, lies that she has said about the Scream, the red truck, lies that she has told the Wells family. The stuff that she has said publicly at the time on her Facebook lives, it's all just bizarre. She's a weirdo. Does that make her a murderer? Does that mean she took Summer? No. And what's the cons? What's the cons against that? Is that motive that I ran through strong enough? Those options? I'm not sure. It is reaching a bit. And the thing with her being a weirdo and all these Facebook lives is, this isn't new. She used to do hours and hours of Facebook lives before Summer went missing. And I'm not sure what's going on here. You can see them. Andy is in the car with her sometimes. The kids are there another time. I think she's pulling up to garages and places that have Wi-Fi and just going on Facebook ranting while everyone sits in the car quiet. I don't understand it. It seems like some sort of Dear Diary or therapeutic to her in some way. There is some, but there's very little interaction with the chat. It's just a bit weird. I'd love for a psychologist, a good psychologist, to have a look at it and tell us what's going on here, because there's something strange going on. It's not normal. After her and Andy split, there's a lot of indirect messages, I think, going on in these lives. But like, what's going on? Does Jodisue think she's famous? She just a star of her own movie? But this weirdo behaviour isn't new. This stuff was going on before Summer went missing. If you think Jodisue being a weirdo started with Summer going missing, it didn't. She was always a weirdo. Another con, is it likely that a woman would do this alone? It's very unlikely. But what we do know is everything about this case is outside of the norm. That's what Leslie in the TBI has said from the very start. That's what she said last week. Another con, I think, is Jodisue's knowledge of the area. I know she is there a long time. I know she talked about going on treks in the woods. But would she really know all the nooks and crannies? Would she really be able to get around? Was she, like, from what I can see, she just loves staying inside for 10, 12 hours a day on live streams. She's not one to be going out for walks. She acts like she did, but I'm not sure. I can think of a lot more suitable people that would know that woods and where to hide a body a lot better than Jodisue. But would she need to know? Would she need to know because a 10-minute drive in either direction and that area hasn't been searched? Back to what I said about motive, about creating disorder on Beach Creek to discourage people like Jackie Dobbs. That is a bit extreme to be taking a kid to create that. You would have to know, you would have to assume that obviously if a kid is taken, the whole area is going to be searched. Andy, we know, Jodisue's ex, was in a heap taking up plants before the search happened. This I believe. How many plants? I don't know. I don't think too much. I don't think it's a huge, sophisticated, grown operation, but I think there was a few plans. Like, that's a loss for Andy, that's a loss for Jodisue, and I don't think she would willingly bring that on herself. There's easier ways to annoy Jackie Dobbs and make that place not a nice place to live. I just don't think that's a strong enough motive. And another thing, a big thing that I don't think people talk about enough is, we know Jodisue is a liar, but then we are holding things up. We are taking things that she says as the truth and holding it against her. We can't do that. We can't say you're a liar, but I'm going to cherry pick this stuff to believe because it makes you look bad. Like the washing her feet in the creek. Everyone is holding that up as a red flag, but you're also telling me Jodisue is a liar, not to believe a word over her mouth. So why are we believing that? Because she's the source of that information. Is she lying? Is she just trying to be a clever clog smartass? You need something to talk about if you're going to be live for 12 hours a day. And I'm inclined just not to believe any of it, including the stuff that makes her look bad. I'm not sure at all about Jodisue, but she is on my list. I can't ignore her, but I'm not sure she's involved. Certainly not a solo effort anyway. Is there something else? Is there another scenario that might explain her behaviour? Is she in cahoots with someone? Is she involved with other people? Maybe. That would explain a lot. Or is she protecting someone? She got a bad feeling, a mother's intuition. And is she protecting someone? Or at least she tried to, or thinks she is protecting someone. Maybe. That would explain a lot, but it's also backfired. Or maybe she's just a weirdo. She's just a weirdo and she's not involved at all. Let me know what you think. 3 things really. What are your thoughts on a motive for Jodisue? What are your thoughts on the motives that I laid out? And what are your pros and cons for believing that Jodisue is involved or not involved? Is there anything there that I missed for either side? Good luck, God bless. Have a good day.